what I'm going to cover today, my why personal brand, mindsets, as well as content and conversion levers. Levers are essentially things that you press to create greater leverage. Every single one of you have a unique X factor that makes you a one of one, that you should put out on content. So I think one of the questions you probably might have in your mind is, I'm not special, I can't speak as well as you, I can't be as loud and outspoken as you, how can I build a personal brand? Okay, and so I'm telling you that irrevocably, that's a myth. Okay, and we're going to break it today. Okay, a bit of background, this is me. I only have one purpose, to love and to be loved in return. I believe in loving loudly, unashamedly, very boldly as well, and that explains a lot of what I do. Okay, and I make no apologies about it. I believe that value needs to be shared, it deserves to be shared, and if you recognize the value in yourself, other people around will reciprocate that. Okay, yeah, so personal brand is just an extension of that. Okay, before I was a creator, many people do not know this, but I spent 10 years in direct sales. 10 years, a decade, probably more than some of you all. I was on the ground, delivering products to customers, largest direct sales company, Amway. But I started out this way. This is my mom. This was at least 8 years ago. She bought a board for me because I did presentations in homes. Right? This is food that every night I came back after 12 a.m. I worked so hard. During universities I was working. When I was freelancing, I was working until 12 I come back, and I always have a plate of food waiting for me. So when I succeeded, I made sure that they're well rewarded. Okay, but I really started out on the ground. And I say this because I understand very intimately the challenges that you all are facing, going out there, getting rejected, getting doors slammed in your face, getting people misunderstanding your intentions, or even worse, questioning your integrity. Okay, I've done that for a decade before I was a creator. These are some clients that I work with. I think Edric came here to speak, right? Yeah, Edric is my first client. He was the first one that believed in me. He said, Kevin, I don't understand why you don't have a consulting offer. I didn't believe in my own value until Edric said, no, I'm going to pay you to consult me. He became my first client. In 1 month, we grew his brand by over 40K followers. Hundreds of sign-ups, 5-figure profit conversion, and now he's still a very close friend of mine. He's still a client of mine, okay? Bernie's a tutor, and then Melvin, so some of you might have seen him. He works a lot with real estate agents, FAs as well. So very quickly, a value of a personal brand. Okay, I don't think I need to sell on the value of a personal brand. I'd rather you experience it for yourself. I mean, I can sit here and tell you that a personal brand has allowed me to walk into doors and get sold to rather than selling to people. I can tell you that owners of companies invite me to their places, and instead of me selling to them, I come in expecting to sell to them. They sell to me instead. Very briefly, before I go into the hardware, let me share the software first. Because without the mindset, even if I give you the tools, right, you're not going to execute it. So let's talk about mindset. I think you'll get this a lot from your leaders as well, so you're used to this. Number one, start. Less than 3 years ago, I was taking 7 to 8 pills a day. Antipsychotics, antidepressants, anti-anxiety, you name it. I was in pain every single day for a year. Every single day, the moment I wake up to the moment I sleep, I'm thinking about my death. I was so close. I even wrote my notes already, and I bought envelopes to send it out. The only thing that kept me around really was, number one, my parents, and just the thought of them having to suffer without me. And secondly is just that small hint of hope that says that maybe tomorrow will be a better day. Maybe tomorrow my mental health might improve a little bit. And I just stuck by it. Long story short, right, after 1 year, I came out of that. Very thankfully because of a lot of factors, but I came out of that. And then 1 month later, I decided, okay, that's it. I have to pursue my dream to start Radical Kindness. Because I always had a dream. I always had a dream to do kindness content. I just buried it and suppressed it out of fear of judgment like some of you are facing. I said enough is enough. I started out with a broken iPhone, with a volunteer videographer, and no idea how to shoot and edit content. Okay, I just went out there, and within a year, I grew my brand to over 100K followers. Okay, and so many people impacted. I cannot begin to tell you how grateful I am for every single person that I've featured, every single person that I've interacted with. It brings me so much joy. Like content is not a chore to me. It's an extension of me at this point. So I'm just telling you, you gotta start. I mean, I don't know how else to say this, but you just gotta pick up your phone. Today, maybe just record a video. It doesn't matter how bad it is. Record a video, put on some captions, edit the captions a bit, and just put it out there. If somebody says, oh, you cringe, congrats, I will clap for you. I'll clap for you because that's how I started also. In fact, now sometimes people still call me cringe. But that's a personal brand. You can't get everyone to like you. A personal brand is a filter. One of the first mindsets to have is that you must be shameless. You must be shameless. Shame is one of the reasons that stops us, our brain stops us or tricks us into believing there's danger. I'll share one story to anchor this point. So when I first started on social media, I did a podcast, 2019. I was walking up and down. This is my room. I walk up and down, panting heavily because I was anxious. I was very fearful whether I can invite people on my podcast, whether people will judge me or not. What people think of me. Can I relate to these people who are more famous than me? Then I sat down and asked myself this question. I said, Kevin, why are you starting this? Why? And the reason is because I went through mental health conditions, overcame. I genuinely believe that my podcast will change and save lives. And then I asked myself a follow-up question. I said, Kevin, is your ego more important than somebody else's life. And I broke down on the spot. I cried. And then I started the podcast. Fear is preceded by ego. It's preceded by the fear of losing your face. I'm going to ask you back this question. Is your ego more important than your family's future? Is your ego more important than the commitments you made to yourself, your partners, your kids? If the answer is no, then act on it. If the answer is yes, then I suggest you just quit. Because there's no chance you're succeeding. And I won't sugarcoat it to you. Okay, out of love, I'm going to share the truth. So that's shamelessness. Okay, the last mindset is showmanship. I dressed up as Joker last Halloween, right, against some better judgment. But I enjoyed it because it allowed me to tap into I mean, a lot of people compare my brand to Joker anyway, right, because I'm chaotic, I'm on the streets, and I'm a bit countercultural. The point I'm trying to bring out is that Halloween, people dress up for one day and they express themselves, right, in different ways, right? The inner child comes out in different ways. But then, after Halloween, they go back to being suppressed. They go back to being reserved. Why? And then that day is just an excuse to let the inner child out. In content, if you look at Zente, for example, why it's memorable is because he's a showman. And I'm not asking you to take out your shirt half naked, go to the gym. I'm not asking you to wear a 30K gold chain. That's his way of showmanship, right? My way of showmanship is I don't wear my shoes, right? But your way is different. But you have to tap into symbols. You have to tap into showmanship because every great personal brand is a symbol of something. That's why Marvel is worth billions. That's why we cry over fictional anime characters. So this is the mindset you got to take. What are you a symbol of? You can write this down. Okay, what do you want your brand to be a symbol of? What traits, associations, beliefs do you want your brand to be associated with when people watch your content? Okay, because you don't leave an impression, right? You're not memorable, people will scroll. Okay, let's get into the meat now. Okay, content funnel. Captivation, consideration, conversion. Some of you have seen variations of this. Let me simplify it for you. There are just two things. Attention and currency. How to get attention, how to turn into currency. Okay, so I'm going to talk about these two things. How to get attention. These are the three basic things. Understand the science of virality, copy virality, and develop a cost-effective system. Okay, because you're busy, you sign to be an agent, not to be a media personality, right? First one, virality equals to engagement. Okay, there's only one factor that determines virality and captivation. That is engagement. That's engagement. Okay, there are 4 factors for engagement only: likes, comments, shares, saves. Okay, we like things because we want to support it, because it's relatable, it's funny. We comment because we either want to scold the person or support the person or give their insights, right? We share because social currency. People express things better than us. We're brave enough to say things other people are not willing to say. We share. Or for education, we share. The last one, we save because it's value adding. So the more people engage on these factors, the more your post is going to go viral. Can you follow so far? Right? The problem with a lot of FA content also is that you guys, the content is too boring. So generic, and none of these factors are being engaged. Okay, they can find on ChatGPT. They don't need you to express it. Can? So how do we make it engaging? Now, come, let me share with you the science of this. Singapore, a very science-based nation. We get drilled from young to our PSLE and memory work. So let's do some science. Science of retention. So engagement is also retention, okay, which means that retention, what is retention? How long the person watch a video, right? The longer they watch, the more viral it will be. So retention is retention. How you can create tension over and over again throughout the entire video. So how do I do that? Number one, we need to create an open loop, what I call a hook. You all hear this before, hook there, hook here. What's the psychology behind a hook? You're creating an open loop. Curiosity. Great movies, great stories start with an open loop. The night was cold. I woke up on a blood stain. You see, what I did was I created an open loop, created curiosity. Now you're wondering, how come got blood? Now you're wondering, why was the night so cold? Then she said, okay, menses. So she closed the loop in her head. But you see, what you need to do is you need to create open loops of people through your content. Doesn't matter whatever content format you use. Doesn't matter whether it's vlogs, talking head videos, storytelling. Doesn't matter your content format. You have to create open loop. Now after you create open loop, you have to close it. Okay, close the loop through what we call payoffs. Okay, which means that you got to give people a dopamine hit. When you give people a dopamine hit, like, oh, for $500, can you name me 3 insurance agents? Now you're going to watch it because it's an open loop. You want to find out, number one, am I going to get the $500? Number two, are people actually going to know insurance agents? So when the first person comes in, very fast, dead space, the person doesn't know, you create a payoff already. Then after that is a rehook. So you rehook the person, okay, another open loop, okay, another open loop, and then another payoff, okay, and then your CTA or just go one round. So when I ask the second person for $500, I'm creating another rehook. So this is, in a summary, the science of content engagement. So every single one of your videos, frame by frame, I tell my team, right, is this justified or not? Is this creating an open loop? Is this closing it? Does it help the narrative or not? If not, cut. I'm very ruthless with my editors and my team. Okay, next thing, copy or engineer virality. Okay, you need to remember this. Virality can be copied. Okay, how do you copy or engineer virality? It's very simple. The first way is to directly copy the concept or the structure, which means that, for example, when I first started kindness content, I said, look, there are people asking people for money and then buying them something in return. Singapore, nobody's doing it. So I did it with this context, with a helper, a group that is underserved, and then this video got close to 1 million views and 7,000 new followers on one video. Second thing I did was, this is Zachary, a very famous kindness creator. He blindfolds himself and then he does messages. So I blindfold myself. If you like Christmas gift for your kids, come and take one. But find it tough, come and take one. So this video got me 600k views and about about 3K new followers. So in 2 videos, I had 10K followers already. That was when I first started out. So you need to, in your industry, take a burner account, follow financial consultants, follow people that are in a similar niche. What kind of content is really doing well? And then adapt it to your personality or your own style. The second thing to copy virality is that look at broad themes, topics, or trends that go viral and then address it in your chosen content format. Okay? For example, if you decide to do talking head videos, that's your chosen podcast, that's your format. What topics, themes, and trends are relevant to you, relevant to your target audience, right? And has consistently been talked about and people want to know about. This example, Edric. So Edric, this was his views initially, right? Few thousand, he was doing 10K a month. If you lose everything, some podcasts. I say, let's look at topics and trends that people are talking about on Reddit, right? On TikTok. And you collect all of this. Now there's AI, it's even easier to do this. Today, no time to talk about AI, but there's ways to collect this. And then from there, based on the themes, we just talk about these themes. Okay, and his views went from few thousand to few 100,000. These are some examples also. When I trend jack the engagement on Edric's post, because all we did was we just copy viral formats. And he does finance content as well. Okay, so it's not too different from what you guys are doing. Sorry, the last point to get attention is developing a cost-effective system. A cost-effective system has 3 parts: ideation, editing, reviewing. The editing part, right? How many of you are doing it yourself currently? Doing it yourself, right? How do you do it? CapCut? CapCut yourself, right? Does it take up time? Extremely, right? Correct. So how do you solve that problem? It's very simple. For me, I'm sharing all my secrets, right? There are 3 aspects of editing: your content cuts, right? And your frame cuts, your sound design, SFX, and video effects. Your sound design and video effects, and the last one is your captions. Most of the time is taken here, right? The sound effects and the captions. Your content cuts is a little bit easier to do. Just cut the dead space. So what I do is that I get my local full-timers to do filming on the ground and content cuts only. And then I outsource it to offshore editors to do sound design and captions. Okay, why do I do this? Because they are very good at that and they charge a much lower fee. You cannot compare it to local. But they find it very hard to do content cuts sometimes because they don't understand the context, the local context, and the language. Yeah, so I combine it in my content supply chain. Now, how exactly do I do this is what I help my coaches, my clients to do. Even if I share with you resources, the VAs to use, I can share with you openly later, during the Q&A. But the issue people face is they don't know how to manage that team. They say they just put a VA there, then okay, you edit my stuff. But they don't even know what good content is. AI is an amplifier and an enabler. Same way a VA is an amplifier and an enabler. If you don't know how to coach them, it's not going to be effective anyway. Okay, so you still have to learn on your own. First. Last 5 minutes, okay, I'll talk about how do you convert your attention to currency and take some questions. Now you have a lot of attention already. How do I convert it into currency? Okay, first thing, these are the conversion levers you need to have. First thing, clear positioning. I'm sure you heard this before a lot of times already. People say you must have a clear positioning when you do sales. In content especially more so. For you guys, your content positioning is what people undoubtedly know you for. Some of you may not like this name I'm going to bring up, but if I say Rayston, the younger one, you all will know what he's doing. His positioning is very clear because he gets it again and again and again in all forms. So what are you undoubtedly known for? Who's the target audience are you serving? And what do you symbolize? What do you impress upon people? That is essentially your positioning. You look at Emmanuel earlier, right? One of my clients, his position is very clear. He's a university student, he's relatable, and he wants to serve people with BTOs specifically. So at least for the time being, his position is very clear. And he attracts the target audience in that specific niche. He dominates that space. So people come to him. Okay, that's the first thing. Second point on conversion, right, is your value and your values. Value and values is very simple. So value and values. Now, in order for your content to convert, you need to have both have value and values. You cannot just have attention. What is value? Value is the tangible value you bring. So essentially, there should be only one timeline that exists in your prospect's mind. Before Rainer, after Rainer. Before Richard, after Richard. If they determine in their head after watching your content that their life will improve financially, emotionally, spiritually, they will consider following you or DMing you. And Singaporeans are very pragmatic people. We prioritize self-interest over moral signaling. That's why people can come back from scandals. Okay, because Singaporeans just care about themselves, value-driven. So you must have value. This is Singapore for you. You cannot environmental. I love the environment, but don't show your financial knowledge. So you got to show value. What is value? Is your expertise. Okay, you got to show your expertise in planning, financial planning. You got to show credibility, right? Maybe your awards or whatever, but do it in a way that makes it clear what's in it for other people. Maybe your particular niche you're serving. Is it university students? Is it like people in their mid years? Is it estate planning? Is it foreigners? Whatever, right? So be very clear the value you're providing. The values is your intangible. Values are essentially what you stand for and what you stand against. Okay, your values is your symbols, what you symbolize. So if you look at someone like Zen, give you an example in the industry, right? Zen, what is his values? Discipline, hard work, going to the gym every single day, right? He stands for being bold, being candid. So it attracts people who have similar values because people buy from people who like you or who want to be like you. My clients might not take off their shoes, but what it symbolizes is a complete disregard for judgment, and they want that for themselves. That's why that attracts people. I had a guy that flew from KL to Singapore just to attend my class because he saw one video of me not wearing shoes. I kid you not, I don't even know him. He never seen my content before. But why? Because he wanted so badly, right, to overcome this shackle of fear of judgment. Then when he saw me, right, I became a symbol of that for him, and he wanted to come to meet me. So lean into this. Okay, and I want to encourage you, right? It's one of my mentor, Melvin, told me, lean into extremes. By extremes, I don't mean you do things like illegal, unethical, immoral. Please follow MES guidelines as well, especially now a bit strict. But lean into extremes means that with your values, right, what do you stand for? Lean into that. Don't be afraid to show it. Don't be afraid to be judged for it. Because you attract people who like you, and people who don't, so be it. Why do you want everybody to like you? Until now, some people still think that I'm crazy. Okay? But it doesn't matter. It genuinely doesn't matter because people don't pay your bills. Judgment doesn't pay your bills. So that's value and values. Okay, the third one is intricate and intimate empathy for a target audience. Charisma, I think, is misunderstood. You need charisma in this industry, agree? Charisma is misunderstood. Charisma is not just being loud. It's not just being outspoken. It's not just impressing people. Charisma is impressing on others, on their importance, on their value. That is true charisma. Which means that it's not just eloquence that sells, it is empathy. Because information now is available everywhere, but connection is rare. People don't buy because they fully understand, they buy because they feel understood. Okay? But if people can feel that you understand their problems, they're going to automatically assume you have the solution. So how do you apply this in content? Very simple. Empathy and not eloquence that sells. But there's a caveat. The caveat is this. In content, it is eloquence backed by empathy that sells. A lot of people talk about my eloquence, but what they don't understand is 10 years of empathy behind the scenes. It is being on the ground. It's being laughed at. It's painful. The empathy that I demonstrate is sometimes that I go into to understand people is sometimes painful. I'm not saying you go to that extent, but you need to understand your target audience. Okay, and all of your target audience is slightly different based on who you want to serve. Okay? And when you can understand them, do a survey, either listening or just text them, you have ideas and themes to create content around. Okay, and when you create content around those topics, you speak to these people. Okay, and the last one is your funnels. Funnels are very basic. It's just essentially how you reach out and how you capture attention. Initiation, nurturing, closing, and reviewing. This is what separates people that are doing 5 figures to 6 figures a month. First one, initiation. There's only 2 ways you get inquiries. One is outbound and the second one is inbound. Outbound is that every single new follower that follows me, I DM them. ManyChat allows you to DM new followers. Now they take out already, I think. So I get my VA to do it. Okay, my VA is being paid to actually DM new followers. And then from there, I engage with them. Alternatively, if they inquire, my speed to lead is very important. Okay, you all know speed to lead is very important. Okay, now after I engage with them, what do? Okay, I either directly close for my class because all my funnels go to my class. Every single one of my funnels goes into my masterclass. After this, I also share with you my masterclass. Okay, for you guys, maybe it's a one-to-one closing. Maybe it's a cash flow thing that you're doing, whatever. Okay, but most of you should be one-to-one, right? One-on-one consult. So directly initiation, go to one-to-one. Now, if they're not ready for one-to-one yet, they're not ready for my class yet, what I do is I funnel them into my Telegram channel, which I'll ask you to join later, Radical Age, where I give insights. And in my Telegram channel, I share a lot of my client processes, stories, insights. I continually add value to them. In boxing, we call it a jab, right? Jab, and then you can land the right hook. Same thing in marketing. You have to constantly jab, constantly give value without expectation of return. And these processes are very persuasive because I'm not just showing client outcomes. Okay, this is also another secret I'll give you. People are numb to outcomes already. You book client testimonials, everybody book client testimonials. Right? Afterwards, fake one, this person exaggerated. She's laughing at the back, Yeah, so people are numb to it, desensitized. But what can't be desensitized is that if you show the process before and after. This is a P6 oral examinations coach I work with, right? His views went from 200 to 200K. Okay, you show the processes and how exactly I help him, right? Plus you give value, it's very persuasive because people can't say it's fake. And they, not just that, they see, as a target audience, they see themselves in your client and they want it for themselves as well. So whether is it nurturing in the Telegram channel or in stories, your IG stories, constant. I also automate this with AI. Like I said, today's thing is limited, but I have a plot note as well, see? I record, and then from the recording, you have many use cases around it. I can get plot to just give me tell it to give me a summary of today, insights, short driven, repurpose it into stories as well as my thing. And instantly it's done. I just refine it a little bit. Yeah, so there are ways to optimize this. Then eventually you're closing. Last thing, reviews. Every single one of my organic leads gets tracked in my Excel sheet. I know exactly what stage they're at. Whether they're funneled into a Telegram, whether I've called them, where they come from, their summary or state of business, whatever. So my salespeople can pick up, and I have people working from 12 to 6, 6 to 12, 6 to 11. So my speed to lead is there. Okay, don't underestimate this, by the way, because this could be the difference between a closed sale or not. And round the clock, there are people following up, nurturing, providing value. So it's a flywheel, and we know exactly what to do. I say nobody slips through the cracks. With that, I'm done. 17 April is my next class. If you cannot make it on 17 April, 15 May is my one-day class. If this is useful, the one-day class would be more in detail, right? Very specific detail, personalized as well. You will get a content strategy. I will review your content. Price-wise, is probably the best in the market. It's not probably, it is the best in the market. I don't think you'll find anything at this level at $450.